From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update. Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, December 15th. For the day, we are well above average temperature-wise for this time of year. Going to get to the 50s, low 60s in some places. However, there is a chance for some rain, but the major issue is going to be in the wind department. Gusts up to 45 miles per hour at times. So some similar windy issues as we had this past Saturday. I'm sure you remember that. So just be aware, no severe weather, as Marcus Bailey and Stephanie Mead were saying this morning, is predicted. But just keep in mind that those wind gusts are going to be around. And the House votes to hold former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows in contempt. It's one of two issues that kept lawmakers working until early this morning. The move against Meadows comes after he stopped cooperating with the Select Committee looking into the Capitol riot. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington will now decide whether to present the case against the former Republican congressman to a grand jury for possible criminal charges. The vote was 222 to 208, including two Republicans, Liz Cheney of Wyoming and Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, who voted in favor. This marks the first time the House has voted to hold a former member of Congress in contempt since the 1830s. The referral comes after Meadows failed to appear for a deposition with the committee. Meadows' attorney issued a new statement Tuesday ahead of the House vote, saying in part, he has fully cooperated as to documents in his possession that are not privileged and has sought various means to provide other information while continuing to honor the former president's privilege claims. As we have reported on Daybreak, texts sent on January 6th have also been released. According to the committee, Meadows received messages from lawmakers, Fox News anchors, and former President Donald Trump's oldest son, telling Meadows to get the president to stop the violence at the Capitol. The committee says text served as evidence of Trump's refusal to step in and will release the names of the individuals who sent text to Meadows at a later date. And there was a bill that would avert the nation's default on its debt, now on the way to the president's desk. This was something else that kept Congress very busy last night, just shy of a deadline set by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen for avoiding a national default. This happened. The House voted early this morning to raise the national debt ceiling by $2.5 trillion. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the new debt limit will be extended into 2023. The issue will not have to be addressed again until after next year's midterm elections. And America passes 800,000 COVID-19 deaths. Several members of Congress gathered at the Capitol building last night for a moment of silence. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tweeted pictures. She called the number a devastating toll for our nation. The count from Johns Hopkins University shows more than 200,000 of the deaths have happened since vaccines became readily available. Researchers say the vast majority of those deaths were people who didn't get the shot. A new tweet from the president asks everyone to remember the lives lost and urges steps to prevent more, saying, "We will beat COVID-19 and move forward together as one nation. Please get vaccinated and get your booster." For a perspective on the total number of deaths, it's nearly the total number of people who live in Indianapolis. 800,000 is also about the same number of Americans who die from heart disease or stroke each year. Cornell University in New York is shutting down after a surge of coronavirus cases. The school's online COVID dashboard is reporting 903 cases over just the last week. According to the university president, Omicron variant has been detected in a high percentage of samples. He also says almost all of the Omicron cases were found in fully vaccinated students. Students will now take final exams online. All other activities and sports are canceled. President Biden will travel to Kentucky to see the tornado devastation firsthand today. The White House says Biden will first attend a storm briefing with emergency officials and then will head to Mayfield and Dawson Springs to survey the storm damage himself. He has approved a major disaster declaration for the state. At least 74 people have died and 109 are still missing after the storms hit Kentucky on Friday. And people gathered in Mayfield last night for a candlelight vigil. That's the community where 8 people died when the storms hit Friday. It flattened a candle factory. Some survivors say healing mentally will take time. Jim Douglas was working that night at the factory, and debris nearly crushed him.
There were people trying to escape from there, and what they were doing is walking over at least me, and when they were doing that, it was pushing my chest flat, so it was really difficult to breathe.
Douglas says he is grateful to the rescuers who were able to pull him to safety. And cleanup in California from severe weather. Intense Tuesday rain is leading to landslides. Firefighters had to rescue several people who were stuck in their homes, and some are still stranded. The storm system brought snowfall in some other spots, prompting people to break out skis and snowboards. And here in Indianapolis, police were at the scene of the latest deadly shooting in Indianapolis and say the problem is getting worse. It happened last night at 42nd and Shadeland. We spoke to officers there. They say the victim is a 49-year-old man. They also say the city's crime problem is not improving this month.
Yeah, so we've seen an uptick in the last 2 weeks of our homicides, non-fatal shootings. It seems to be too frequent that we're seeing incidents and conflict moving to guns.
So far, police have not announced any arrests, but investigators say they have identified several people who were in the area when the shooting happened. O.J. Simpson is off parole. Officials in Nevada granted an early end last week. Simpson served 9 years in prison for a kidnapping and armed robbery in Las Vegas. Simpson's original parole plan was set to run through February. It's the first time the NFL Hall of Famer has been completely free of legal trouble since his wife's murder in 1995. A jury found Simpson not guilty in his criminal case, but a civil court found him liable for her death. The Department of Homeland Security is asking for help from hackers. The Bug Bounty program offers hackers money to help find the cybersecurity vulnerabilities within the agency. DHS will pay $500 to $5,000 depending on the seriousness of the issue. Programs like this one aren't new. Apple and Microsoft have similar programs, and they pay a lot more, too. Apple's payouts range from $25,000 to $1 million. Microsoft offers up to $200,000. And what started as a small meat recall is now much bigger. The USDA says the company Alexander and Hornung is pulling more than 2 million pounds of pork products over possible listeria contamination. The issue may carry an extra degree of urgency because most of the recalled items are ham, which is a staple for many families around the holidays. Bacon and pepperoni are also included. If you want to see if one of the products is in your fridge, we've made it easy for you. You can go to wishtv.com, and there's a link to a full list of products and their dates under the As Seen on Wish TV section.
Guarding him from the start, Wiggins again. Here's Curry for the record. It's good! There it is!
A shooting star sets an all-time mark in front of an Indiana Pacer he once passed. Steph Curry broke the NBA's all-time record for three-pointers in a career last night against the Knicks, hitting the 2,974th three of his career. A post from the Warriors read, "Record broken, history made, game changed forever." After the game, Curry described what he felt as the shot went in.
It's a pretty special moment. Like, I shot it, I backtrack, I saw my pops over on the side, saw my teammates going crazy, felt the whole buzz of the whole arena, so it was special.
Pacers Hall of Famer Reggie Miller is congratulating Curry in person and in a new post. Reggie held the record until Ray Allen passed him, and both were at the game last night. And finally, a new exhibit is up at the Indianapolis International Airport to get ready for the College Football Playoff. Wish TV is proud to be the broadcast partner of the College Football Playoff Indy Host Committee. The art exhibit is called 22 for 22. It's a display featuring 22 graphic designers and illustrators from Central Indiana. All 22 posters showcase different aspects of football. The artwork will welcome fans in for the national championship weekend.
Every artist wants their work to be seen by people. I mean, that's the goal, right? So the thought of my work being seen potentially by hundreds of thousands of visitors these next few weeks, it's pretty cool.
You can bid on your favorite design. All proceeds will be donated to Teach Indy to support local teachers. The artwork will be on display until January 10th. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.